Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Shows, Style, and Spirit. I am Ebony, and as you can see from the title of this video, I want to give my condolences to the family of Miss Cissy Houston. She passed away today at the age of 91. Her family, they were blessed to have her for many years, and she has left us with quite a legacy with her singing career. And I want to get into it all. Certainly, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. Everything that I'm saying is definitely just my opinion, but I will definitely be speaking from my heart tonight. So, I am a fan of Whitney Houston, of course, her wonderful daughter, the vocalist. And I even check out the Whitney Houston Platinum Club here on YouTube. There is a blogger, her first name is Quincy. I can't think of, is it Quincy Thomas? She sometimes will live stream every Wednesday for Whitney Houston fans to talk about her. I follow Whitney Houston pages on Instagram. I adore Whitney Houston. I've read her best friend Robin Crawford's book, A Song for You, My Life with Whitney Houston. And in it, Robin said that Cissy Houston could demand 5 times scale for being a background singer because she sang background for many wonderful singers, not just her daughter Whitney, but Elvis Presley, as you can see in this picture, as well as Bette Midler and a host of other singers. And I'm going to circle back around, but she is extremely talented and her God-given talents will live on. Now, Miss Cissy Houston was surrounded by family when she died this morning, Monday, October 7th, 2024, while in hospice care. Miss Cissy Houston passed away from Alzheimer's disease, and I am getting these details from CNN. And Miss Pat Houston, Cissy's mother and daughter-in-law, said that our hearts are filled with pain and sadness. We lost the matriarch of our family. Mother Cissy has been a strong and towering figure in our lives, a woman of deep faith and conviction who cared greatly about family, ministry, and community. Her more than 7-decade career in music and entertainment will remain at the forefront of our hearts. Her daughter-in-law, Pat Houston, added, her contributions to popular music and culture are unparalleled. Miss Cissy Houston was born Emily Drinkert, and she was the youngest of 8 children to her parents, the late Nicholas and Delia Mae Drinkert. She was educated through the Newark public school system, and she attended New Hope Baptist Church, where she would later become the minister of sacred music. And we all know that Whitney Houston grew up at New Hope Baptist Church as well. She sang in the choir, and Robin Crawford wrote in her book that when she saw Whitney sing in church, people would catch the Holy Ghost listening to Whitney Houston sing. They would speak in tongues, and people would go up to her after service and just let her know how her voice touched them. And Miss Cissy Houston was born in 1933. And just 5 years later, in 1938, at the age of 5, she began her singing career when she joined her siblings, and they were called originally the Drinkert Four until more of her siblings joined the group and they became the Drinkert Singers. And throughout the life of the Drinkert Singers group, it also included Miss Dee Dee Warwick and Dionne Warwick, who are Cissy Houston's nieces. And the Drinkert singers. They performed at Carnegie Hall and the Newport Jazz Festival in Newport, Rhode Island. And in 1957, they recorded their first live gospel album, A Joyful Noise, at Webster Hall in New York City. It was released in 1959 on RCA Records, marking one of the first times a gospel group released an album on a major record label. That is great. So that is a part of history, a part of gospel history. And later on, in the early 1960s, Miss Cissy Houston would form the group The Sweet Inspirations, which we heard about if you've watched the Whitney Houston movie, I Want to Dance with Somebody, that was released in theaters Christmas 2022. We heard of the group The Sweet Inspirations. And the Sweet Inspirations actually sang background vocals for several different musical artists in the 60s, including Aretha Franklin, Otis Redding, and Wilson Pickett. And then Miss Cissy Houston released her first solo album, Presenting Cissy Houston, in 1969. And she has won 2 Grammy Awards. And she has gone on to record 10 solo albums, 4 compilation albums, and 5 collaborative recordings. And Miss Cissy Houston, circling back to her background vocals, she has been a backup vocalist to, again, Aretha Franklin, Bette Midler, Beyonce, Carly Simon, Shaka Khan, David Bowie, again, Elvis Presley, Jimi Hendrix, Whitney Houston, and many others. And also in Robin Crawford's book, A Song for You, My Life with Whitney Houston. I've read that book like a couple of times. I love it so. And Whitney Houston adored Shaka Khan. Robin said that Whitney said that Shaka Khan, she's one of the few singers that when she sings, you can understand all of the words that she says. She said that Shaka Khan is great at pronunciating words while she is singing. And Whitney actually sang background for Shaka Khan as well as a teenager. Can you imagine being a teenage kid and you are singing background for Shaka Khan? That really speaks to how talented Whitney was, that even as a teenager, her voice was that strong and she was ready to sing a backup for a major artist. And of course, we all know that Cissy Houston lost her daughter Whitney in 2012 when Whitney was 48 years old. I remember Whitney Houston died in February of 2012. When I learned I had just gotten out of the movies, I saw The Safe House with Denzel Washington and Ryan Reynolds. And then I learned that she passed, and I text one of my friends who is a journalist down in Tampa. I'm like, is this true? And she said, yes, that's what, all of the outlets are reporting. And that August would have been Whitney Houston's 49th birthday. So the very next year after Whitney Houston passed, Cissy Houston wrote a memoir in 2013 called Remember Whitney, My Story of Love, Loss, and the Night the Music Stopped. And when she was on the show The View to promote her book, she said that she wrote the book to let everyone know that Whitney Houston was really nothing like people thought that she was, and that she was a wonderful, giving, loving kid, and she had her faults just like everyone else. And unfortunately, Miss Cissy Houston also lost her granddaughter, Bobby Christina Brown, the daughter of Bobby and Whitney Houston. Miss Bobby Christina passed away 3 years after she lost her mother, and Bobby Christina was only 22 years old. And Miss Cissy Houston, she is survived by her sons, Gary and Michael, and again, her daughter-in-law, Pat Houston. And Pat Houston goes on in the statement to say that we are blessed and grateful that God allowed her to spend so many years with us. And we are thankful for all the many valuable life lessons that she taught us. May she rest in peace. alongside her daughter Whitney and granddaughter Bobby Christina and our cherished family members. So again, I give my condolences to the family of Cissy Houston. Loss is always hard, and she was just so blessed. What a life that Miss Cissy Houston has lived. And she sang background vocals for a variety of artists. From David Bowie, who is rock, to Bette Midler, who would be, I guess you would put her more in so like a pop genre. Beyonce and her daughter Whitney, that's R&B and R&B pop, and Elvis Presley. That is quite a career, very admirable and just wide and strong. So, Miss Cissy Houston, God bless you. You sang God's praises here on earth, and now you are leading the choir in heaven. And I thank you all so much for watching this video. You know, what are some of your favorite Whitney Houston songs or any memories that you may know of regarding Miss Cissy Houston? Please leave them in the comment section. And of course, your condolences as well. My experience with Cissy's singing is from the Preacher's Wife soundtrack. I have that. I love that soundtrack. Like in the early 2000s, the choir at church would sing, "He's all over me and he's keeping me alive. He's on the right, on the left, in front and back, underneath, over me, and he's slipping down the sides. He's all over me and he's keeping me alive." And Cissy Houston, she sang the devotional song that, like, you know, deacons sing in the beginning of church, you know, "I love the Lord. He heard my cry." So I should probably stream some of The Preacher's Wife for sure, in tribute to Miss Cissy Houston. But thanks again for checking out this video. I hope you all have a great day, sweet dreams, and a terrific Tuesday. And I will talk with you soon. Bye.